The courage to take the leap of faith, theistic existentialism. Toward existence. Philosophy now becomes a matter of personal lived experience of actual life situations. What existentialists talk and write about is what actually matters to him or to her and close to his or her life. One's death, one's suffering due to failure, one's loss of hope becomes legitimate philosophical topics. Sartre's famous formula of existence precedes essence, becomes a defining parameter of existential domain. The human being's uniqueness derives not from his or her possession of reason, but from his or her being in existence. Toward existence, a person's essence is becoming an open-ended search for meaning and identity. It is constantly created and recreated, defined by one's freedom to choose which path in life to take. Human being is an ongoing project, dynamic and relational, affected by one. Jean-Paul Sartre, existentialism is humanism. Sartre was born in 1905 in Paris. After a childhood marked by the early death of his father, the important role played by his grandfather, and some rather unhappy experiences at school, Sartre finished high school at the Lycée Henri IV in Paris. The philosophical career of Jean-Paul Sartre in 1905 to 1980 focuses in its first phase upon the construction of philosophy of existence known as existentialism. Sartre's early works are characterized by development of classic phenomenology. Sartre and the existence. Existere for Sartre means to project oneself outside. Man exists in that he is nothing definite. He becomes what he has decided to be. The notion of human nature is absurd, since it gives the man an essence which man cannot tear himself away. Being and Nothingness, published by Sartre, and it is now known as the Manual of Atheistic Existential Thought. It sustained the analysis of being en soi in itself and being for soi for itself. In defense of his ideas in Being and Nothingness, he wrote the existentialism is humanism, to show that in spite of seeming gloom it brings, it is in fact the highest form of humanism. Why? It shows us the way we can affirm that in bad faith we deny ourselves. Abandonment, anguish, and despair, the three existential experiences we go through are small price to pay given to the absoluteness of freedom. Sartre agrees with Martin Heidegger, a German ontologist whose writings are existential in character, in saying that we are thrown into this world without any manual or self-help that allow us to live without any mistake. Life's lessons are learned through tedious and often painful trial and error process. We have no recourse but our own freedom. To Sartre, this is the state of abandonment. We are alone all the time since the moment of our birth. Our sufferings and success are our own and impossible to truly share with anyone. Our life is also existentially punctuated with experience of anguish. Because we are abundant beings, our choice is our own and reap its rewards or suffer its consequences. We are beings of constant frustration. We hope, we expect, but the world works beyond our control. We are more likely to be bound to be disappointed and therefore despair. The only way to avoid despair is to act without hope. But we can actually create ourselves if we take positively the reality of freedom. If we take this freedom in our hands and act on it without denying all of its implications, then we move toward authenticity. We are able to stand up for our choices without need for any excuses. This is the greatest homage to our humanity, according to Sartre. Existentialism affords us the dignity we deserve for being human beings. Karl Jaspers, A Leap into Transcendence. Karl Theodor Jaspers was a German-Swiss psychiatrist and philosopher who had a strong influence on modern theology, psychiatry, and philosophy. After being trained in practicing psychiatry, Jaspers turned to philosophical inquiry and attempted to discover an innovative philosophical system. He was often viewed as major exponent of existentialism in Germany, though he did not accept the label. Jaspers believes that metaphysical problems can only be understood through human existence, which is subjective and not through claimed objectivity of science. Slide. Being in three senses: Dasein or plain givenness, existence or being for itself, transcendence or being in itself. Objects are in a state of plain givenness. They are just there, objective, unconscious, unaware. Human individuals are usually in this horizon or mode of being, unless they become more aware of their existence. They are then able to widen their horizon and become existence. But as existence, they realize that they cannot have a complete grasp of being. They then become aware of this experience as failure. In human experiences, this failure goes on unless one takes a leap into the horizon that is beyond all horizons. This refers to transcendence. When one is pushed against the wall, the boundaries of his or her horizon, and therefore has to decide whether to stay within that horizon and bear with failure or take the leap of faith into transcendence. This leap requires a shift from objectivity, which is truth of science, into subjectivity, existential truth. An existence alone can decide to take this leap of faith. Such leap of faith is transformative. The existence then realizes that everything we encounter is a cipher for transcendence. Acknowledgement, contents taken from Exploring the Philosophical Terrain, edited by Lenny B.I.R. Garcia, published by C&A Publishing Incorporated, 2013. Thank you.